So if this was a house, for example, and you had a bedroom, bathroom, living room, kitchen, dining room, etc., where it might be helpful to see the measurements, and I would say if you went into the Matterport tour, you'd actually see the labels ballroom and lobby and the square footage and the room dimension in the Matterport tour if you've enabled that in the space.
Correct.
You want to show where you enable that to show up, and then maybe we could look at the tour?
Yeah. Well, if we click here, I usually click there. So you can see the eyeball for the dimensions, and it will show it. And then the same with the height.
Okay, so if you're showing the dimensions, height, and the measurements in the Matterport property report, then is the default it will show up in the Matterport tour?
Well, let's go take a look, shall we?
Yep.
There you go.
And then if you go into dollhouse view, yep, and then maybe, and we can see that it's there. So if you wanted to disable this from being displayed, I guess what I'm unclear is, can I have it show up in the property report, but not have it show up in the Matterport tour?
It should show up here. Let's test that theory out. So we're going to click here. We're going to hide the dimensions. We're going to go back. And so, no, it removed it.
So it still shows up in the property report, but it's not being displayed. And so it was that little eyeball to the right to determine whether whether it showed up or not in the Matterport tour.
So when we click the eyeball with the line through it, that hides it from the property report and from the tour. So it says the overall square footage, but it doesn't show the actual dimensions.
Mm-hmm. Okay, great. I'm going to ask you about pricing strategy later in the show. Is there anything else to show or tell us about? I presume if you downloaded the CSV file now, it would reflect that you've labeled the room names and that there's measurements there as well.
Yeah, let's test that out. There you go.
And so it stays current. Okay, awesome. Is there anything else to show or tell us about the property report?
Not that I can think of. Here's where you can set US versus metric.
Okay.
Sorry, that's something I can think of.